man? Welcome back to the channel. They just picked up Bricc Baby, loose cannon, and they looking for Big U right now. They saying it's a huge case going on about the whole thing. The artist, Big U's artist, they took him out, dumped his body on the side of the highway in the desert in Vegas, man. So we got the full details right now. Make sure you guys subscribe to get the whole entire story. So now Bricc Baby, as soon as he got locked up, all of a sudden they pulled up to Loose Cannon restaurant, and that's where they arrested him at. They came through the back of the kitchen. That's how you know that they were trying to get Loose Cannon, and nobody knew where Big U was at. Nobody knew where he was at, but Bricc Baby was the only person who knew where everybody was at. And all of a sudden, after talking to Bricc Baby, they start pulling up on other suspects. Next thing you know, it's a whole list of people that Bricc Baby told them about that's involved in all of these incidents and crimes and everything like that. Allegations are saying that allegedly Bricc Baby is telling on the whole entire roll in 60's and every number from that whole entire area. So now they're looking at it like when they pulled up on Big U, when they pulled up on Loose Cannon, as soon as they went in through the back of that restaurant, all you see is Loose Cannon start running. He ran out the front, and guess who was in the front waiting for him? They had a whole SWAT car. They used a whole UPS truck, like the brown trucks, and it looked like it was just delivering mail and everything like that. So when they pulled up to Loose Cannon after Bricc Baby gave him the address, they thought the restaurant was just getting ordinary like deliveries from food or something like that, or from one of the vendors. But then once they noticed the tear gas go out and they hit the flashbang, and then they say, LAPD, get on the ground, get on the ground. It was the whole, like, it was a joint task force effort to pick these dudes up because of what they just did to that artist. The artist, Big U and them, this all alleged, man, for entertainment purposes, but basically Big U, that's his artist right there. And allegedly, basically, after speaking with Bricc Baby, they saying that Big U and the artist had some sort of altercation. They had some sort of beef. Maybe the artist was trying to like get his own bread, or he found out that he was getting finessed by Loose Cannon, Big U, and Bricc Baby. Once the people find out that they getting finessed, it's totally different. Once they find out that behind closed doors that you talking behind their back, you really don't want them to do well. They didn't. Big U and them really wasn't trying to make the artist do good. They was trying to keep him where he's at so they could keep eating up off of him. And that's how they was finessing him and everything. So basically what happened is that once everything broke loose and they got the artist to come out there to do a music video, they were like, yeah, we gonna meet up with you, da 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 da. So they met up, and it was supposed to be somewhere in the outskirts of LA. And you know, basically they baited him into coming because they thought that he was gonna get a check. Like his whole crew, they were like, oh, you doing the music video, that maybe they gonna give you like some money for the wardrobe, maybe you gonna get a check for this or that or whatever it is, right? So he went and met up with them, and this is what Big U was telling him, like, don't worry, you know, we're gonna take care of this, that, we're gonna shoot a couple scenes and you gonna be back into the studio. He never came back to the studio. They talked to the producer, and he said, yeah, the artist, he left. He was supposed to meet up with Big U and Bricc Baby and all those guys. They were supposed to do a video. He had booked time at 12:30 at night to come back to the studio, and he never returned. This is what made them call his baby mama. When they called his baby mama, they were like, the baby mama was like, nah, he didn't come back here either. I thought he was still at the studio. This is when they made the missing persons report. And they, as soon as the missing person report, remember, after the first 48 hours is when they really start looking for him. They don't look for no missing person in the first 48 hours. They say the people gotta be missing for at least a day or a day and a half, 24-hour minimum, for the authorities and the law enforcement to do a manhunt. That means where they get a whole crew of volunteers and the first responders, and they walk the last known area of where the person's location was, and they try to walk through and find any clues, any like ripped t-shirt, forensic things, anything somebody could have dropped, something that has fingerprints on it, any type of any evidence at all to go back to where the whereabouts of the artist is at. And so when the baby mama said that he did not come home, then this is when they went ahead and made the call. They called it in to the sheriff office and told him, like, yeah, this was what was going on. He was supposed to be going to the music video. His boss is Big U and Loose Cannon, and he was last seen hanging around like Bricc Baby and the whole crew and all that, because that's who was supposed to allegedly meet up at the music video. So they went to the spot where the music video was done at, and the camera footage shows that they never did a video there. All it was like a Uber pulled up, and then all of a sudden you see a black car pull up, and the artist gets in the black car, and the black truck just take off and ride into the night, and they never see him again. And allegedly, when they found out that he ended up getting murked that night, they found out that they drove dude out of town, out of California, and they did something to him. Like they either robbed him and then took him out, or they did a lot to him basically. And then they rode down out of town into the outskirts, into the country. They crossed the California border into the desert. Like this is still like an hour outside of Vegas. And basically they went on to the side roads all the way to like it's dirt, and you gotta have an off-road pickup truck to get this far. Remember, they had a black truck. They had like the black Uber trucks type, so they could go off-road. So when they dumped the dude's body, when they dumped Big U's artist body, they left him right there and everything. And then it was like a day or so, a couple days later, they were looking for the artist. They were looking for Big U's artist. They said he was last with them. They tried to get a hold of him. Nobody would give no information up except Bricc Baby. Bricc Baby was the only person that was like actually assisting and cooperating with this whole thing. That's why everybody's saying that he's the one that told, and that he's probably going to end up singing and telling on everything that happened, because he was just in the podcast and he was talking about what happened. He was just talking about what Loose Cannon and Big U was up to right before this whole situation broke out. And so the feds is looking back and looking at every interview Bricc Baby did, because there's a lot of incriminating information. There's a lot of things that was said about the artist, about Big U, and about Loose Cannon. And this is why Bricc Baby is being interrogated like he's the number one like person that they're going to get the information. They came in there, they gave him Popeyes, they gave him KFC, he even got desserts, drinks, everything he wanted. They even got him some clothes, they got him some it's an awful lot of cough syrup merch. They brought it into the interrogation room because Bricc Baby gave him so much evidence, so much information. And so this is why everybody's saying that he's probably going to be the reason that this whole case ends up getting solved quick, broken. They're going to give football number years to those who's involved. And now they're going right after Big U. Loose Cannon already captured. Bricc Baby already captured. Big U is the guy that they're looking for right now. So they're on a whole entire chase all up and down California, all up and down anywhere that's near where the last whereabouts and locations was. They're looking at all camera footage. They monitoring everybody's IGs and that's involved in this. They looking and seeing in the phone taps. They call anytime somebody called a phone, the feds is listening to see where Big U's at, to see if he's ever gonna pop out. Because they saying that he's the dude who caught the hit on his own artist. And this is why he ended up missing. This is why they dumped his body in the desert and everything, because they thought they was going to get away with it. This is why they went to the desert to dump it. They thought they was going to be able to get away with it like the mobsters or something like that. These dudes are not even close to anything like the mobsters. Just because they snatch somebody up, hit them up and dump them in the desert does not mean they're going to get away with it. Does not mean that they don't got no connections. They don't got no pull. They don't got no judges, and they're not paying nobody off. They're not high up in the food chain for them to get away with anything like this. As a matter of fact, they looking at Big U, they looking at Bricc Baby and Loose Cannon and saying, oh, y'all think y'all just gonna do this and get away with it? You guys think that you us? Nah, it ain't gonna happen. So this is why they cracking down hard. They gonna set an example out of these dudes. And basically Bricc Baby is looking at any way to get himself out of this situation to go back to doing interviews, man. Like, all that no jumper money is off, because he's not up there doing the recordings or nothing like that. He's not up there doing no more interviews. And so this is why he's panicking. He's like, okay, I'll tell you whatever y'all need to know in order for me to be able to get out, or for him to be able to get a bond or some type of ankle monitor or something. So pay attention to everything that was going on. Make sure y'all like this video, share it on Facebook and YouTube, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel to get the updates on everything that's going on. I'm gonna catch y'all later. Peace.